Back now with our series AI Revolution, and in focus tonight, jobs, how they're performed, how they're changing, and the potential risks that AI poses to them.
All right,
to find
so
out,
just for some context, this is a video essentially just speaking about how like places like Amazon, companies like Amazon and Walmart are using AI to sort of streamline the process of better profits and making sure everything runs better, more efficiently, of course, to make more money for the company. And I have a vested interest in trying to understand how this works, since I work at a retail job in a company that's not as big as Amazon or Walmart, but still would probably be looking to increase profits long term for the company's vision, right? So they're basically saying, you know, how AI is going to be used in the workplace, and basically we're going to watch this and then have a discussion on whether or not
award went to the nation's largest private employer.
Once upon a time, Jose Avila had had an incredible memory.
Were you supposed to have memorized where everything is?
Yes.
And great shoes.
So I would have to actually take them to the items that they needed, so from one end to the store to the other.
But today, an AI-powered app shows where everything is and needs to go.
It's making.
So these apps, the ones that they have on in places like Amazon and Walmart, they've always been used. Like Amazon and Walmart are far just leagues ahead compared to like a company that I work for, because everything is just, they have a lot more money and they have a lot more sort of technical products like the app or like the scanners, in which they can scan things, see what things are in stock, see what things need to be replaced, the facings, like the little, you know, areas or the spaces in which things go. They've already been on that wave. A company like mine, when I go in and stock, you know, doing an overnight shift, I'm not using scanners. There's simply product that comes in on these pallets, and then I come in and I stock things. I'm not necessarily holding on to scanners and saying this. If the facing doesn't allow for the space, like if there's a space in which, let's say, granola bars, Nature Valley granola bars don't go up, there's only like 6 spaces, then I'll simply just put it back in a box or not open it in general, just, you know, depending on how much actually needs to be put up on the shelf. So that's kind of like what he's getting at right here. Just the overall way in which they can sort of make products sell better and faster, depending on, you know, machine learning and LLMs being able to decipher what is selling faster and what's not.
In my job much easier.
Walmart is already a cost-cutting machine, and yet the company wants to be
these are stockers, no matter what. They're still going to need these stockers, so keep that in mind.
Is in charge of making that happen.
How can you possibly grow more efficient than you currently are?
Jacob, that's where I think technology will play a key enabling role. We are transforming our supply chain and our store operations.
And as we saw in this California superstore, AI is how they plan to do it. When trucks arrive to be offloaded, AI has already organized the pallets inside. It looks disorganized to me.
But if I understand correctly, AI...
Now, what I want to like sort of get down to the nitty gritty of that I'm still confused on is like, how is AI doing this? Like, because there's still a physical, and this is what I'm getting to at, this is what I'm getting at here. There's still a physical aspect that needs to be understood. An AI cannot replace your job. The person that knows how to maneuver and use AI a little bit more effectively will be the one that replaces your job. So in terms of Walmart and places like Amazon, and you know, like Amazon really ain't even like a store. It's a sort of retail, but it's more like a warehouse job. A warehouse job might see a large reduction of people on hand because of, let's say, AI knows everything that needs to be sort of put in specific places and knows what shipments is getting, is going to know how to make the overall operations of the warehouse more faster. It's going to make it more efficient. So in a place like Amazon, which is just a warehouse, and Walmart, which is like a warehouse and a kind of like a store in which you could get any and everything, yes, there might be a reduction in workers needed since the overall operations are running more smoothly and more efficient. In a place like mine, in which you still need humans to scan things, do the math on what is going up, what needs to be taken off the shelf, what is discontinued, all this other stuff, it's not going to be, AI is not going to affect a job like mine, I don't believe, in my opinion, because the money just simply isn't there. Until a company like mine takes money and wants to go through an entire infrastructure change, which is needed, then I do believe a regular retail job, a regular retail worker's job might be affected. It might be sort of replaced by 1 or 2, 3 individuals that really know how to use AI within the entire area, not just it being 10, 20, 30 people, you know, doing the crew, doing the shift.
Is telling you through the phone where everything is and where it should go.
Yes, we'll have to open up our camera and hold up our work device, and then it's going to tell us what boxes need to go out.
Sensors in every aisle spot things as small as...
That makes sense. But again, what people have to understand is there's still a physical aspect that's needed. So when people think about AI, it's not necessarily AI, it's the physical aspect that is being replaced. If a company can take the physical aspect and replace it with something that's non-physical, whether they have, let's say, this is probably far along, but in places like China, they have stores in which they already exist and there's no operator. There's operators that, you know, work on the back end. Maybe there's 1 or 2 people in the back, you know, in like a little office. Maybe if there's a malfunction, that person is always on roll. They're always doing shifts in and out, and they'll fix something technically. But the, you know, the store itself is self-automated. It's already, it's an autonomous sort of piece of equipment, which is the entire store. It's an infrastructure. Infrastructure needs to change for AI to replace jobs. But AI is a non-physical entity. It cannot replace the aspect of a human worker, which is the physical aspect. So these things are simply making this, like, they're streamlining the process to put in the products out, removing products, whether they're discontinued or need replacing because they're not selling as well as others, and they're putting the ones that sell faster. That's what they're getting at right now. But there still has to be a human aspect in terms of the physical, like, joules of force, the physical aspect needed to simply put things on shelves and complete the operations of the store.
The freezer door left open. And AI even organizes the shelves.
Again, I don't look at these shelves. Let's just say, like, even just the way that this channel is sort of, or this video and the people that made the video is sort of explaining this, it still doesn't make sense, right? Because these shelves don't look any sort of like technical. There's no technical aspect to these shelves. They're regular metal shelves. So there's no way in which they're being organized. Unless I don't know something, I'll go ahead and, you know, do my research afterwards, but I'm just reacting to it in real time now. Like, these shelves aren't being, there's no like sort of pistons moving the shelves and they're doing all this crazy stuff, right? They're just, the AI is simply just telling which things need to go in a faster rate. It's making the operations of the store more efficient. But there's no sort of physical aspect being replaced. It's just that the physical aspect might be streamlined faster, not the physical aspect being replaced completely.
We can learn.
So even what this guy is saying, the speaker or the announcer or whatever, it's misrepresentation of the actual situation at hand.
Okay, did 2 facings of this do better than maybe putting another brand in
the mathematics
another flavor in there, right?
is what's making the
Walmart
company
is the
a lot more money.
largest private employer.
That's
and
what they want to do.
They decide to do when it comes to efficiency sets national standards. So when they decide to adopt AI,
it sets national standards if the stores want to do it. If the store has money, if the store has influence, if it has sort of the ability to change the infrastructure. A place like Walmart and then Amazon, they've already been on this entire technical craze with the amount of money that they're willing to invest in robots, self-scanning, the self-scan checkout, as well as the little scanners, the little things that either you put your phone into or it's the app on the phone for the workers. They've already been on this move. A place like mine's, we have Instacart and that's it. And they have the guns, the little scanning guns. If you work in retail, you know what I'm talking about. But we're not using, you know, AI. We're not using that. You know,
it has implications for the whole country. And that, of course, raises a crucial question.
There's still physical people working. She has the phone.
A world in which you won't need as many
she has the scanner, the phone,
we view
the
technology
physical device itself
as helping our associates to evolve physically demanding jobs into more fulfilling, higher skilled job roles.
You see, even the pallet jack that they were moving before all of that stuff, they didn't have pallet jacks, electrical jacks, the physical jacks that you have to do like that. There's still someone that's operating that jack. There's, you know, still truck lift certifications are things. Did they replace a couple of people? I mean, I don't know. They probably might have needed more people because the physical aspect is still there. Like, there's still a physical aspect needed to do a job like this.
So over time,
she's using the AI device, the AI on the device,
about the same,
but she's still there.
Number
you know?
of associates in the company.
As a retail worker, can I sort of relax about my job in the future, do you think?
No, I don't think that you can.
Experts say the number of jobs may remain the same, but people without the right skills won't get them.
There are increasing.
That's AI in a nutshell. It'll make things better, but you need to be increasing your market value in order to keep a job like that. And of course, the displacement of jobs will come as a result of people who might be a little bit older or not tech savvy getting displaced because they don't know how to use these new systems.
Frictions in the workplace such that it is harder for workers to transition from one job to a new job.
Again, this is an infrastructure change.
Workers here are happier in the age of AI.
Our headcount and our turnover is much better from 2 years ago. Yeah, much better.
And you know what? I'll say this, and this might be a crazy take. If my company was to some way somehow, I don't think they'll do it, but if some way somehow they started giving us these apps, or you know, the tools, the devices to put things on the shelves and do it faster, my job definitely will become easier. So in terms of the overall hardness of the job and how fast we're getting things done, it could be a huge benefit for the people that actually are there and working. It'll make my life, their lives, a lot easier. The thing that I'm trying to get to at is we need to be learning these skills. Like I'm saying, I'm not like a huge AI shill, right? I believe in the technology, but we need to be keeping up with it. It's the times. No matter what, it's happening right now. And if it can sort of displace people and remove people from jobs like this, it could do it in every other industry. There's a lot of people that are high and mighty on their horse talking about, oh, they're boycotting AI. It's like, man, like, you could say that, but if you want to take care of your family, if you want to provide for yourself and hold on to your job, you might need to learn how to use these technologies at one point. So just, you know, and again, it's not necessarily AI that you're using. It's everything will probably be done by higher up individuals within your company. If you're working a job like Walmart or Amazon, you just need to learn how to be on a device and use the technology, use the apps a lot more efficiently. So I don't think in general this stuff will change how people work. It'll make it faster. It'll make their experiences better. But will it displace people that aren't paying attention, which is AI in general, AI as in a nutshell? Yes, it will, because they won't be able to understand. So I don't think this is a problem for people that are younger, physically able to put things on shelves and work their regular jobs. It's not a problem for that. I see this being a problem for people that aren't as tech savvy, can't understand how to use, you know, their phone all the time to make this. People who, of course, just don't want to do that and transition over. As well as anybody with a disability or impairment, something that will make it hard for them to understand what's going on, because a lot of these jobs are like, my job is equal opportunity, and I like that because it makes it so anybody can come in and work a job like the one that I work. But and that's not just, I'm not saying that for a race thing. I'm just saying that anybody of any sort of weight, sort of physical level could come and work at a place like this or a place like mine. But in terms of, you know, being scared for replacing jobs, is gonna hit the people that won't be able to adapt to this as fast as the next person. Let's say a person like myself that's already tech savvy, doing all this stuff, and already able to physically put stuff on shelves. It won't affect me, but for a person that isn't, you know, physically apt, mentally apt when it comes to working with technologies and kind of the older people maybe too, it'll definitely affect them, which is a lot of people. There's a lot of old people, not old, I don't want to say old, but more middle to older aged people working at my job, so it might affect them, and that's the sad part about
See how
this.
working in a world of low prices and high efficiency compares to shopping in one. Jake Ward, NBC News, Gilroy, California.
I mean, yeah, that's
fulfilling higher.
You know, that's my thoughts, honestly. It's not as, I don't think it's as crazy as other people think. I'll say this: if you're working in a super technical industry like engineering or who knows, product management, or like these guys are okay because this is entry level, but maybe the white collar individuals, the higher managers, supervisors, district managers within the company, there might be a reduction in that because AI will make it so that one individual could sort of operate multiple different workstations to sort of automate this. So maybe the white collar jobs, which is what people have been saying, we'll see a sort of hit. Again, I'm just a fucking idiot online talking about these various topics. I mean, I work a retail job and I'm not doing all this using the phone stuff. Like, my company isn't as big, nowhere near as big as Walmart and Amazon, but I'm not doing all this stuff. I'm just a regular, like your local supermarket isn't using AI to streamline the process of, you know, and that's another thing about all these AI startups and all these AI, you know, apps and sort of softwares and programs. You can make all these AI stuff, you know, AI programs to make things a lot better for a company. That doesn't always necessarily mean it's gonna work or that companies will necessarily want to, especially since a lot of companies are forward facing in terms of overall just the idea or the agenda of being more communicative, being more of a family friendly, small owned, like business owned, in which you can have a human interaction and be forward facing in terms of everybody getting along. Then yeah, like it doesn't make any sense to put a whole bunch of AI robots or have barely anybody in the store to talk to individuals, because the AI is going to tell a person if there's a mistake on the shelf and you need to go over there, you need to go to the produce section instead of going to the cereal section for like maybe some Doyle mangoes or some shit. So it's not like there's gonna be a complete reduction of the human aspect. It just might seem like some sort of more higher level positions might get displaced, or the people that aren't physically apt or technological with their understanding of how, you know, these apps on the phones work, how these applications on the devices work, like what this lady's doing. Like, if you aren't able to do this and you're an older individual or a individual that doesn't know how to use technology as much as the next person, then yes, but you can safeguard yourself from this by starting to ask your companies a lot more about what's going on. Like, are we going to see this? Are we going to start to have an infrastructure change in terms of how we're doing things, if we're doing it more efficiently? Because something like this at my job place, in which things are always out of place, people always doing all type of crazy shit and putting things everywhere, me sometimes not knowing where a specific product goes if it's not my aisle that I'm working on, not knowing how large the truck is, the truck coming in all unorganized. Like a technology like this, an implementation like this into my company would be amazing. It would make them more money and we could probably do more work. But again, it's not going to hit every company, at least not for my lifetime. I don't believe, not for the time I'm going to be at my job. So you guys let me know what you think. I have a vested interest in this because I work a retail job, not at Walmart or at Amazon, but a regular smaller just company, a more community-based company, and we haven't heard any sort of rumblings about using apps on our phones to sort of do these things. So let me know what you guys think. This was just kind of a ramble session, reaction video to this. And yeah, I'm down to have a conversation and discussion with you guys in the comments. So it's your boy Draco. Peace.